Welcome back to We Regret Nothing. I'm Sean, and today we're turning the page on a new category as we begin exploring the books of the 1940s. Over the first 3 episodes of the season, Andrea, Michelle, and I traveled through the films of the decade, ultimately selecting the 5 movies we believe best represent the 1940s. Now, it's time to see what was happening on the printed page. The 1940s were marked by war, recovery, uncertainty, and profound social change. Authors responded with stories of courage, identity, loss, hope, and the complexities of a rapidly changing world. Some of these books offered escape. Others forced readers to confront difficult truths. Together, they helped define the literary voice of this decade. In this episode, Andrea, Michelle, and I will introduce the first 10 books from our list of the top 20 books of the 1940s. Over the next few episodes, we'll examine all 20 contenders, narrow them down to a top 10, and ultimately select the 5 books worthy of a place in our cultural time capsule. So, find a comfortable chair, crack open a well-loved hardcover, and join us as we begin our exploration of the books that helped shape the 1940s. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello, Andrea.
Sean Jimin.
My friends call me Sean.
Sean Jimin.
Let's start with, if we could, does anybody have, actually, Andrea, do you have any thoughts in general about books in the 1940s?
Yeah, there's, as I went through the list, a lot of these books, not all of them, I've read. I knew of all of them though. There's just so many. It's so different from the 30s in the way that things are written. Like as we get through the list, and you'll see what I mean, because I don't want to spoiler alert everybody. But it's just like I felt it was very, in some aspects, gloves off. Like, you know what, motherfuckers, this is what it's like to be this. This is how this looks here. This is. There's a book on here that basically I just have as an advertisement for Catholicism. It was it was so like, and then when I read more about it, I went, oh, I'm right. Which doesn't happen a lot, as you know, husband. But yeah, a lot of them are just so incredibly dark. And I mean by color, like just dark, gray, sad, but they're also exposing or showing truths. So it kind of takes away. And I see why a lot like publishers were like, okay, we just had a literal Second World War when we were supposed to not have another World War. And here's how it is. So yeah,
Few exceptions. This list is bleak.
bleak. Yes. It's okay. No, Sean, you did a great job.
Yeah, it's
but
not. You didn't
I
like
was
the
like,
books, but the
damn.
list is
Yeah. So yeah, it's bleak.
Michelle, anything other than the list is bleak?
Thank God there's a couple of kids' books. That's it.
I should probably say a little behind the curtain. I threw those in for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's jump into the list here. So we're starting. You want to talk about bleak, but number 1, The Diary of a Young Girl. This is Anne Frank. This is commonly referred to as the Diary of Anne Frank, but it's a book of the writings from the Dutch language diary kept by Anne Frank while she was in hiding for 2 years with her family during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. Family was apprehended in 1944. Frank died of typhus in a concentration camp in 1945. And then the diaries were retrieved. And yeah, it just makes me sad even reading that. So, Andrea? Michelle, what do you think?
All right, I'm going to try to make Andrea laugh. How I escaped reading this book, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never, not once. I mean, I feel lucky now looking at your face. And it's not like I don't know about it or what's it.
Yeah, you were like, what's this going to be about?
This seems fun. It's not like I don't, but I have never read it. I don't know that, I would have had it been assigned to me, probably, but I don't think I would touch this now.
I think, well, now would be the best time to read it because now it's in its entirety. They literally said, like, if you did read it in school, or if you found it in your school library, or if just your mother bought every book in the world and that's how you came across it.
My mom can't spell book.
They literally,
Hopefully she never listens to this podcast.
come on. But they literally removed the parts that I find this funny. I bring a little bit of where she talks about like somebody in the annex, because that's what it was, a walled off annex. Somebody had gas, and she's like, I just have to sit here and breathe these farts. And it's like, I can't, like it, but they took that out because they were like, oh, that's offensive. The little girl who got dragged away by the Nazis and died in a camp, that we can read about, but God forbid gas from.
Or her budding sexuality,
Yes.
or getting her period,
Yes.
or any of those things that would naturally happen around that age.
Yeah. And she writes about, like, it's sad. Like, she writes about how she doesn't really feel connected to her mom. And she has a really good relationship with her dad. And then, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that can say during their, especially that time of life, 13 to 15, that to be in close quarters like that with your parents, your siblings, your dad's business partner and his family, you know, I can't fucking imagine it. And that is why, and I just have to throw this in too, when fucking Justin Bieber wrote at the guest book, she would have been a believer. That's when that Canadian twat should have been like just
Is that
barred.
fucking real?
He literally wrote she would have been a believer.
It is real, but
This girl hasn't gone through enough.
Oh,
But this is something I think that should be taught. Like, I think kids need reading this in school, especially kids of Oklahoma. I say that because they're governor and education, and that little guy that's now in charge of Homeland Security, the little fidget guy. No, you're just glaring at me. It's very. I can't even say it's well written. It's a good book. It's a diary, and it's fucking heartbreaking. And even the cat's upset about it.
Almost agrees. So here's the deal. I think I've stated this on the podcast. I'll restate it. At least I've stated it in my personal life around friends and family. I never took my education seriously. And then, so that coupled with the fact that, and my memory's not great, but in school, this book, I've never read this book. I had no idea what this book was about, other than that she wrote it while hiding in a closet from the Nazis. So the one good thing about, and there's many good things, I get to see you two, we get to have fun recording a show, but I get to learn a lot of things that I think I wish that I would have learned a long time ago. And this background on this book was one of the things that I was like, didn't know any of that. So let me just go back to the beginning of, so Anne Frank received a blank diary as one of her presents on June 12th, 1942. It was her 13th birthday. The dates mattered to me. So June 12th, 1942. So the day before, while browsing a bookstore with her dad, she picked out this red checkered autograph book. It wasn't even a diary. It was an autograph book. And she entered a 1-sentence note on her birthday, writing, I hope I will be able to confide everything to you, as I have never been able to confide in anyone, and I hope you will be a great source of comfort and support. On July 5th, so that is less than a month later, Anne's then 16-year-old sister Margot received an official summons to report to a Nazi work camp in Germany. And the next day, on July 6th, Margot and Anne went into hiding with their parents, Otto and Edith. They were later joined by Herman Van Pels, Otto's business partner, as well as his wife, August, and their teenage son, Peter. So their hiding place was in a sealed-off upper room of the annex at the back of Otto's company and building in Amsterdam. Otto had started this company. It was named Opekta in 1933. He was licensed to manufacture and sell pectin, a substance used to make jam. He stopped running his business while he was in hiding, obviously, but once he returned in the summer of 45, he found his employees had continued running it in his absence. The rooms that everyone hid in were concealed behind a movable bookcase in the same building as Opekta. Fritz Pfeffer, the dentist of their helper, Mike guys, joined them for 4 months later. So let's see, that's 4, 7. There's like 10 people in this this what I assume to be a kind of a small area, but they remained hidden for 2 years and 1 month. And on here's the dates again, though. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces commenced the Normandy landings in France. The group was aware of this development and hopeful for what was to come. On August 4th, 1944, 6 weeks before the Allies breached the Belgian-Dutch border, the group was discovered hiding and deported to Nazi concentration camps. And so 6 weeks. They were in there for 2 years and 1 month, and they fell 6 weeks short of what I would call success. But it was long thought that they had been betrayed, although there are more indications now that their discovery was purely accidental. The police raided an actual target for ration fraud, and just happened to find behind the bookcase these folks hiding. But of the 8 people, so there were 8 people. Sorry, only Otto Frank survived the war. Like I mentioned, Anne was 15 when she died in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in Germany. The exact date of her death is unknown and is long believed to be in late February or early March, just a few weeks before that camp was liberated by British troops. So I know it's heartbreaking, but those are the things that I learned that kind of mattered to me. And they might not matter to anybody else, but it was just more, I think, heartbreaking than the actual story itself. So this diary's been published in more than 70 languages. It's received widespread critical and popular attention. And so Andrea's point, so in 1986, the Dutch Institute for War Documentation published what was called the critical edition of the diary, containing comparisons from all known versions, both edited and unedited. And so discussion asserting the diary's authentication and additional historical information relating to the family and the diary itself all got sussed out. And so this is the book. This is everything they believe possibly in it. Included sections of Anne's diaries which had previously been edited out, containing passages on pondering her own sexuality, references to touching her friend's breasts, her thoughts on menstruation, and an edition that was published in 1995, just 3 years before, included Anne's description of exploring her own genitalia and her confusion regarding sex and childbirth. At some point in history, all those have kind of been edited out of this book. But to Andrew's point, if you get the book since 1998, you can read all of this. So, okay. Number 2, The Stranger. The Stranger. Also, I got confused about this one. It's the French again, but also published in English as The Outsider. This is a 1942 novella written by French author. Help me out again. Camus. Albert. Go fuck yourself.
He's French.
There's a T.
There's no T's.
There's a T right there. I'm looking at it. Okay, so Albert Camus. This is the first of Camus' novels to be published. The story follows Marcel. I know, because I'm seeing a T and I didn't pronounce it. An indifferent man.
Say the title in French?
Well, it'd be their stranger, because there's no T's.
There's no S in that word.
No.
The Stranger.
L'étranger.
Okay. I'm going to add you into the list real quick here. Okay, so sorry. This follows Marcel, an indifferent man in French Algeria who, weeks after his mother's funeral, kills an unarmed Arab man in Algiers. Story is divided into 2 parts, presenting Marcel's first-person narrative before and after the killing. That is Michelle.
The only reason I knew about this was because of The Cure.
I do love how music introduces
How
you
is
to
that,
I
though?
do love that.
Their first single released on
Oh, no, I have it in my notes. I got it. Go ahead.
was called Killing an Arab. And as you might imagine, it met with wildly crazy criticism because people don't read.
Mm-hmm.
And they just assumed that this was some kind of,
Let's
racist.
kill it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but then even after several, okay, we'll talk about the book, but it was clear that this was based on the book because the lyrics are exactly the plot of the fucking book.
I gotta
Or
listen
the
to that song.
denouement anyway.
gotta-
It's the lyrics are, that's exactly what fucking happens in the book. So anyway, I have not read it, but I did know about it again because of The Cure. But it seems to me that if you want the too long didn't read literal version of this, is that nothing matters.
Mhm.
Right? So you can weave your way through the world, making choices, good, bad, right, or wrong, and it doesn't matter because everything's going to play out the way it plays out, and you're going to end up dead anyway. So, but it is, mostly because Meursault has he's just like,
He's apathetic.
he has no remorse, about anything, about his mother's death, about the killing, he like figures like, well, I guess I'll just make this work. And it's bleak.
Mhm.
He does not care what he did. He does not care why he did it. He doesn't even really know why he did it. It's quite, yeah.
Mhm.
Andrea?
I am not. I have read this. I am not a fan of an apathetic protagonist. I do not care for. It's brilliantly written. It really is. In my opinion, it is brilliantly written. It is not a book I've ever gone back to revisit, and you know that I love to revisit books. But I do that. I mean, kind of, this was almost the same kind of problem I had with when I say I don't like an apathetic protagonist. Is that's very much how I felt like about Holden Caulfield.
Mm-hmm.
There's God, who the fuck wrote the Cider House Rules and World According to John Irving?
Yes.
It Cider House Rules. He's very. I want to feel something for the main character. Love, hate, but indifference is just it's not an emotion I do well.
Can we talk about that for a second? I say some crazy shit on this podcast. I fully acknowledge that. And so when I came across this part, I did I would argue more research than I normally do when I throw out crazy shit. And I stand by my notes. So there are many people who have read this book, critics, psychologists, and many others that have noted that the actions and beliefs of the main character are most likely explained by autism. Meursault displays difficulties in communicating with others, sensory issues, difficulties in displaying emotions, and difficulties in understanding the emotions of others.
I never fucking put that together.
I just
That would make so much sense.
I read it in my research too. It's debated.
It is debated.
It's highly debated.
But I can see that a
when
consideration.
when you're
And so so two things. Although there was very limited knowledge of autism at the time that this book was written, Camus did say that the main character was based behavior and attitude of a close friend of his, Pierre Galindo, who, in people who know Pierre Galindo, would describe him today as autistic. So it is possible, maybe I'll step back a little bit and not say it did, but it is possible that Camus unwittingly created the first ever description of autism in literature. And so I would only say that not to try to like counter or argue any of your thoughts or feelings on it, but if you read the book or think about your feelings of the book in using that filter, I don't know what it'll do, but maybe it'll change things.
part of the highly contested, debatable part, which is why if you're feeling some kind of way about this, you maybe shouldn't, is that the people who are arguing that perhaps Meursault was autistic, the people on the other side who are arguing that he was just apathetic,
Mm-hmm.
are,
Which is how I always took it.
right, are that so he shoots, the guy on the beach,
Mhm.
right? and it's a fatal shot. He knows.
But then
Then
he
he shoots
unloads
him
4
4 more
times.
Now, does he have emotion when he does that? Not necessarily,
Yeah.
but he thinks about it and he shoots him
Yeah.
4 more times. People interpret that as that's revenge for the stabbing of his buddy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So that would not be consistent with the way someone with autism might approach that situation. And at the end of the book where he, you know, for like the first year in prison, he's just like, I'll look out the window, I'll eat my food, I'll do it, you know, just like, because I don't care. And, you know, and
Yeah.
fate is what it is. I will just live my life here and be perfectly happy. But towards the end, like
The priest.
the priest, yes, the priest comes to talk to him and he starts to consider it a little
Mhm.
bit, but even still, right, that also would be inconsistent with, because it wouldn't matter what he said or how he tried to convince him, that he would still just be like, I just literally don't even understand why you're like, this has no consequence to me, right? So,
but that then would, because y'all are using the term apathetic, and apathetic to the level that you're talking about, shooting somebody 4 times, that's actually sociopath. There's an antisocial personality disorder that better describes what he might.
Aphthymixia? I can't remember.
What
I'm
is
just
that?
using it as an for the rest of the. I mean, that scene particularly is the whole book.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
but the way he's unfeeling about how his mother, right? He doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
Think
And there
about,
might be some sociopath or psychopathic tendencies, maybe
but
more
not
so than
autism.
Right.
But just not
Yeah.
making the solid argument that he was autistic, though very likely he might have been. Like, so it's just.
And it is very likely that a lot of people who suffer from any of these disorders, there's not just one.
Right.
There's generally several. So it could be, you know, a mixture. But I just thought it was interesting because I kept hearing apathy and apathetic, and I just thought that was an interesting point to consider. I don't know if y'all found this or knew about this, but in 2015, there was a book written called The Merceau Investigation by Kamal Daoud. It's a novel created to counter Camus' version. This is from the perspective of an Arab man described as a brother of the murdered man. Referred to only as the Arab by Camus. In this novel, he's said to have been named Musa and was an actual man who existed and was mourned by his brother and mother.
I would like to also just add more to the Cure lore, if I may. So that first single, Killing an Arab, was on Boys Don't Cry, which was their first like major, like
it was their 1978 debut single.
When they released their greatest hits album, the first one, that album they named Standing on Feet. So,
oh wow,
please don't.
Wow,
so the people who were like, oh, they're racist. Like, clearly Robert Smith's a reader.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to add, and this is fucking terrible, that American soldiers used both this song and Rock the Casbah during the Gulf War as kind of a rallying, right?
Yeah.
Because those guys didn't read either.
No.
So that's fun.
Flew down Marine Corps State. Not big readers.
Fun.
I mean, there's actually in literature, The Cure is probably the most famous example, but I have a list of all, we don't have to go through all of that, but Avenged Sevenfold's first single was Nobody from Life is But a Dream. That they say that was inspired by this book, The Stranger. But anyway.
I love the research you guys do. Like I will do, but I'm just like, I'm here to critique the book. You guys are like,
well, that's the reason I knew
love
the
it.
book.
I love it. No, I mean, I'm paying you guys a compliment.
Yeah, no, I
really,
so, you know, I throw in things that I think you two would find interesting. It's always music for Michelle and but I'm also doing this to try to.
What do I get?
Talk. You get.
You already know all this shit.
No, but I do try to throw things in that I think you would find interesting as well. So, but I'm also part of our consideration, I believe, is its tail, like culturally, how, you know, relevant is it for how long? And, yeah. So anyway,
it comes up in The Stand because Harold Lauder calls him Albert Camus.
Oh, I didn't find that. See, that's something I would have thrown into my
And
research.
I know, cutie pie. And what's funny is Franny, when he said she does not correct him because she's like, he's a pompous ass, and but she doesn't want to be mean because she knows he won't take.
Right.
We can tell you it's out there.
I'm not a pompous
You're
ass.
not.
I'm just a dun.
But I remember that. But I'll tell you this: that's how I discovered that it was Camus. Was when I read it when I was 10, and I was like, oh, because I saw that book on our bookshelf, and it's by Albert Camus.
Yeah.
Of the Camus Washingtonian.
I was to say, probably grew up next to a guy named Albert Camus.
All right, number 3, Animal Farm. Andrea's clapping already. Okay, Animal Farm is a satirical... Oh, Sean, what are your notes? A satirical, allegorical, dystopian novella. Go fuck yourself.
It is.
Yeah, sure, but I gotta say it. When I write the notes, it looks great till I go, I gotta say this on mic. This is in the form of a beast fable by George Orwell, first published in England on August 17th, 1945. It follows the mistreated farm animals of Manor Farm as they rebel against their human master and are hoping to create a society where all animals can be equal, free, and happy away from human vices and interventions. However, the rebellion is hijacked and betrayed, and under the dictatorship of the pigs, the farm ends up in a dystopian state nearly identical to what it was before. That is Andrea.
It's me. I love Animal Farm.
Word.
I think it's such a great, tale to be. I feel that this is absorbed better by when it's taught in high school, because it is animal, plus the movies that they made of it. Look, which they're making one now. Somebody's making Animal Farm again.
Yes, I did see that.
But I remember like watching it in Mr. Whitaker's class, and I had already read it a couple of times because we had to read it. It was kind of like it was our chaser for 1984 in what, 11th grade CP? Yeah. But it's so well, and I will always remember just the line. I'm not going to say it like word for word, so please don't. But the end when the pigs are sitting with the farmers
and they can't tell,
the difference. Like the animals looking are like,
they can't tell the difference.
There's no difference between them. It's so well done. There's a couple parts of it that is always a little bit Lord of the Flies to me. And not because of pigs, not because of piggy, but there is like kind of that, and I believe that it's still something that you see so much. It still happens here all the time. People start like, okay, we're going to do away with this and it's going to be better under this. And then it's like, oh God, is it worse now? Like if we would have left, which I think this, the story might make some people where they're like, maybe we don't want change, even if they should have change. But George did a damn good job. George is a dark motherfucker. George Orwell is dark. Also the fact that we have 2 George Orwell on this, and something is Orwellian, because it's fucking bleak. So Michelle should have said this list was Orwellian.
Missed opportunity.
But I think it still holds up today. It still holds up today. Don't trust those pigs, man.
Word.
Michelle?
I hadn't thought about this until you said it, but I do think, I think you're right. I think we had to read 1984 first,
Mm-hmm.
and then Animal Farm, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah.
I think, shout out Doug Whitaker, because I wouldn't have read a lot of books in my life if it hadn't been for that dude. But this one included, I have 10 out of 10, almost no notes.
Yeah.
Like and part of it is for me, because I'll say it every single time, I'm not a reader.
What?
And in order for me to read and enjoy it, like I can read and not enjoy it, but in order for me to read and enjoy it, it's got to catch me pretty quickly. And God help me, it needs to be kind of not too flowery. depends on what I'm reading. But for this, I think it was written so simply and very plainly that again, why it's good for consuming as a teenager.
It's already come out.
Is it Andy Serkis?
It's Andy Serkis, Seth Rogen, Gaten Matters. Steve Buscemi, Glenn Close. Yeah, it's sorry.
No, that's okay. And then I think, and I mean, I'm certain that this was on purpose because most all of the stuff he did was very thought through and on purpose. So like even in the book, the lesser animals just speak very simply.
Yeah.
Right? They say what they mean and they mean what they say.
Mm-hmm.
But the pigs they take words and make the language to fit what they want their agenda,
which is
to
what
be.
we saw in 1984.
They twist it, yeah.
Yeah, the
right.
news
They
speak
twist it up. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I love this book. I love that the flag looked like the hammer and sickle. I love that there was like you'd have to be real dumb not to make the connection.
Yeah, and
because it was so plain.
And it's funny, to Sean, to go off like Michelle and I, Whitaker taught this in the spring of our 11th grade year. But for a 3-week period that nobody ever discussed, Doug Whitaker was absent. And so we, as a class, we're supposed to be reading 1984. And when he got back, he's like, okay, everybody's done with 1984. He's like, who here finished 1984? And I don't know, was I in an age of where we told the truth? Only me and René Desolier. We were like, we did. And then he's like, okay, you know what? We'll discuss it a little bit, and then we're moving on to Animal Farm. And I'm like, look, I read the goddamn I did the assignment, Doug.
Most of us were like,
but everybody in that class fucking read Animal Farm. Because he's like, listen, this one, and then we did a whole comparison thing where only Renee and I had really contributed to the conversation. but I think it was the perfect chaser for it. You saw it like this, and then you saw it like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know more about Orwell that I spent too much time probably on this list that he compiled and sent. So just shortly before he died, he prepared a list of notable writers and other people he considered to be unsuitable as possible writers for the anti-communist propaganda activities of the Information Research Department, which was a secret propaganda organization of the British state under the Foreign Office. But basically, this list, which was I don't know why, but he called it Cryptos and Fellow Travelers. But they were members of the Communist Party of Great Britain, agents and sentimental sympathizers.
Yeah.
Now, all of the people. So the reason I'm saying that is that one of the people that he listed, there were a lot of people on this list, but one of them was a man named Peter Smollett. Peter was born Hans Peter Smolka, Austrian-born man. He came to Britain in 1933 and again was named by Orwell as an NKVD agent, codenamed ABO. And so the reason I say that matters, it mattered to me because this is like a crazy Hollywood story. But so Orwell writes this book between November of 43 and February of 44. And the reason I'm saying those dates is the UK was in its wartime alliance with the Soviet Union against Nazi Germany. And British intelligence at that time held Stalin in high esteem, and Orwell hated it. And so the manuscript was initially rejected by several British and American publishers, including one of Orwell's own publishers, Victor Galland's. So the publisher, Jonathan Cape, who had initially accepted Animal Farm and they were going to publish it, subsequently rejected the book after an official at the British Ministry of Information warned him off. That person who warned him off was Peter Smollett. And Smollett had said, writing to Leonard Moore, who was a partner in the literary agency, explained that the decision had been made, taken on the advice of a senior official in the Ministry of Information. And it says, such flagrant anti-Soviet bias is unacceptable, and the choice of pigs as a dominant class is thought to be especially offensive. And so
Smarter than you.
smarter than you are, dude. And so then Orwell says, if the fable were addressed generally to dictators and dictatorships at large, then publication would be all right. But the fable does follow, as I see now, so completely the progress of the Russian Soviets and their two dictators, Lenin and Stalin, that it can only apply to Russia, to the exclusion of any other dictators.
Duh.
And then the last thing that he
was the
said,
whole point.
it would be less offensive if the predominant caste in the fable were not pigs. I think the choice of pigs as a ruling caste would no doubt give offense to many people, and particularly to anyone who's a bit touchy, as undoubtedly the Russians are.
So I say pig and you see yourself?
That's what he was saying in a very, I thought, in a very clever way.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
See yourself in the mirror?
For Whom the Bell Tolls is a novel by Andrea's favorite author, Ernest Hemingway. This was published in 1940. It tells the story of Robert Jordan, a young American volunteer attached to a Republican guerrilla unit during the Spanish Civil War. As a demolitions expert, he is assigned to blow up a bridge during the Segovia Offensive. That is thankfully Michelle. It's not the Avengers movie. Nice try.
I know.
I surprisingly didn't hate this one when I read it. I think it's less Hemingway than the rest of the Hemingways, if that makes sense. But then as I'm thinking about this, okay, so first of all, the title is from like maybe one of my favorite poems of all time by John Donne. It's so good. But I when I was looking at this just now, I was thinking like it's a little Private Ryan-esque, right? We have a singular objective, right? Well, Jordan has a singular objective.
Yes.
Recruits, well, he doesn't recruit necessarily, but gets involved with kind of a ragtag bunch of dudes to go execute the singular objective, including blowing up a bridge. A lot of them,
Steven
a lot of
Spielberg.
them are like, I don't know about this. And then, also including becoming mortally wounded. So, but I do remember liking this when I read it and thought that it was like definitely because I liked that the guerrilla leader dude gets overthrown by his wife because she's like, fuck you, we have a greater good, so go fuck yourself. I do, but I did learn, and I did not even think about this, but when I was researching this, that the phrase "feeling the earth move," did you feel the earth move?
Yeah,
is from this book. Because Maria and Robert have sex in a field and she's laying in the dirt.
Yeah.
And when they're done, he says, "Did you feel the earth move?" And that is where that phrase comes from, is from the...
I never knew where... Okay.
I didn't either.
Okay.
I didn't until I read this. It's interesting.
Okay.
There's a lot of lexicon in
I
this
do.
list.
I
like a lot.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Okay, so I'm just going to read from my notes.
Okay.
Ugh. Why is he still here? I prefer John Donne's devotions upon emergent occasions.
See? He was dying when he wrote that. It's such a beautiful
He
poem.
was dying.
It's a beautiful
For whom the bell tolls,
it
tolls for thee. That's why we're best friends.
Death's coming for all.
But no, what Michelle said, this is the only Hemingway book that I read twice. And I was like,
because I didn't even feel like, again, while it's a singular objective, that this protagonist is not he's not as much of a narcissist.
Just say as self.
As the rest of all the other
He's not.
Hemingway characters are. He's the least.
Yes. He's
Hemingway.
the most like a normal man.
He's the least Hemingway of all the characters.
Sean, what's the movie where the person's gonna, I can see it, and I know it's a movie I've probably seen 227 times, but where they're in a fight or a war or something, and the guy's, it's a battle, and they have to leave a guy, he's mortally wounded, and he's got the grenade, and he's got it done, and when his thumb,
because that's happened to
it's gonna blow.
Yeah.
He's gonna blow everybody up. And the first time that I saw it with you, I was like, but
I know the scene.
he might not be dying. You were like, Andrea,
I can't
he's
remember the
dying.
movie.
I want to say it's like a canister grenade, like not like a avocado
but
grenade.
I don't remember the movie.
Yeah, and you know what? And because
It always
they
reminds me
got
of
the
this.
grenades to pull the string
Yes.
from far away, and that's how. Yeah, that's how the other dude dies.
So
is
it
because
just-
he gets hit by shrapnel because they're too close to the fucking thing.
It is like it's the most where Hemingway was a writer, not a reporter.
Yeah, I need to have a word with Steven Spielberg because also Jordan, while he's laying mortally wounded, is waiting to like take his last. Like he's just like, I'll wait and shoot at whatever enemies come before if I can stay conscious and not die first.
Yeah,
And at the end, Private Ryan, Tom Hanks is just shooting at the tank because he knows he's dying, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay here. And I couldn't. Yeah.
Did Sean get really mad about Jeremy Davies again last night? Because
he did at one time call him a pussy.
Yeah. When we watched him,
I thought he was quite restrained.
When he showed up in Justified, Sean was like, "Not you." I was like, "Sean, that's how great an actor Jeremy Davies, who does not get a lot of credit for how great." I fucking listen.
Maybe it's because I've never served in the military, but the first time I saw that movie, and including last night, I know this is off topic, but he's just a scared fucking nerd.
He's a kid.
He's a translator. He doesn't belong, and he doesn't know what to do. He's so scared. So I have some sympathy.
I do too.
For young Upham.
I have,
except that he let that thing.
Adam.
Anyway.
Yes.
So a little bit about this book we're talking about. So this book was published just after the end of the Spanish Civil War, but the war had been covered in great detail in international media at the time. But I'm going to argue, I don't want to give Andrea more fuel for her hatred, but I feel like Hemingway assumed so much in this book that the audience knows that the war was between the leftist government and the Second Spanish Republic, that many foreigners went to Spain to help out, the nationalist faction, which was supported by Nazi Germany and fascist Italy. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that I feel like was assumed. Y'all know this, and I'm dumb.
Because he was a narcissist. That's like the thing. He's like, I'm.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that I hate F. Scott Fitzgerald more than this guy.
Oh, no, I know.
I'm the one that really not a big Hemingway.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I got my.
I
don't hate him like the
like the fiery passion.
Yes,
a thousand suns.
In 1940, For Whom the Bell Tolls was declared non-mailable by the U.S. Post Office.
Wow.
The ban was enacted due to the book's explicit sexual content and perceived pro-communist political themes. The novel dealt heavily with Marxism and the Spanish Civil War, like I said, which made it highly controversial at the time. The last thing I just found was in 1941, the Pulitzer Prize Committee for Letters unanimously recommended For Whom the Bell Tolls to be awarded Pulitzer Prize for Novel of the Year. The entire board agreed. However, Nicholas Murray Butler, president of Columbia University and ex officio head of the Pulitzer Board at the time, found the novel offensive and persuaded the board to reverse its determination. No Pulitzers were given for the category of novel that year.
That's
fucked up.
Oh my God. What in the name
Imagine how
of
mad you'd
Battleground
be.
Washington?
Imagine how mad you'd be.
Oh, I'd be so pissed.
I'm gonna get the fucking Pulitzer. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Because I guarantee, okay, 99%, because I don't know for sure, but it's the sex. It's always the fucking sex with these fucking white cisgender stick up their ass men that run these committees in the world. But
it is the sex.
It's this. Oh my God, people fuck.
The violence is okay, but just
don't
talk about
sex. Like on the other side of the world, children are being dragged off and put in camps and their parents executed. But don't you dare have a penis and a vagina. Don't you dare talk about it.
Okay, number 5, Native Son. Native Son is a 1940 novel written by American author Richard Wright. This tells the story of a 20-year-old named Bigger Thomas, a black youth living in utter poverty in a poor area on Chicago's South Side in the 1930s. I wonder if he knew Rick Riz. South Side of Chicago, right? No. Thomas kills a white woman at a time when racism is at its peak, and he pays the price for it. And that is Andrea.
This story is this I have not read. I knew of it, and that's why I did not read it. I know of Richard Wright's work. He is a fascinating read. I mean, his life. This story is so heartbreaking and I could see, I don't know how it was received at the time by quote unquote the whites. I'm sure you don't want to see, where your white savior complex can really fuck you up. And I mean, the Dolans, is that their last name? The ones that employ him, and then he murders their daughter, which is a very simple way of saying, I mean,
I can't remember.
I actually don't have that. Sorry.
Yeah, because for some reason I was thinking they were Irish Americans. I don't. Is it Dolan?
Dalton.
Dalton. Thank you.
It is in my notes.
Barely. But it's just sad. He's never going to get out of what he has, what he doesn't have. He's never going to break the cycle, and he's so angry, and he doesn't know why, and he's afraid. So he does it. It's just the worst case of circumstances and bad luck, and it's just fucking yeah.
Sure.
So I also have not read this, but I knew of it, and just from what I knew of it, I thought, okay, this is going to be like in book form, a thing that I just always say, which is you can tell people that they can pull themselves up by their fucking bootstraps, but that's impossible if they don't have fucking boots.
Yeah.
Right. So I knew the premise of this, which basically, soup to nuts, is this kid is a product of his environment. He's been shaped by circumstance, and he's impoverished. And so he's only going to end up what he was always supposed to end up being. Right. Which is fucking sad when you lay it out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He has, it wouldn't matter what choices he made. He was just always going to end up in a circumstance, maybe not this one exactly, but in a circumstance similar to this. Then as I was doing research for this, I came across the James Baldwin school of, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
This is and he was highly critical.
Yeah.
Of
James Baldwin was
James Baldwin was highly critical of Wright's writing, and the fact that this was very much so you're basically telling our people that they're fucked no matter what. And James Baldwin was also very big on we are systematically fucked, but we have agency. So, and
but we should try to find those boots. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's so hard to be empathetic for this kid, honestly, even
that's
though he accidentally kills Mary.
Yeah.
Right. So black kid, south side of Chicago. He's basically financially responsible for his family. He hates that. He does not want to be that. He ends up getting a job with a wealthy white family. The daughter is attractive, but she's also not communist, and her boyfriend is a communist organizer. And under the guise of him driving her around to go to college shit, takes them to dinner, meets them. The other whites in the communist thing kind of treat him, they invite him to come have dinner, blah, blah, blah. She gets drunk. He gets her home, carries her to her room. While she's drunk, he cannot resist. He kisses her, puts her in her bed. Her blind mother comes in the room. He's like, oh shit, I'm going to get discovered in here. A black man in the, I'm in trouble. So he puts a pillow over Mary's face to keep her quiet so that her blind mother will not think that there's anyone else in there. And he smothers her to death. It's not great. That's an accident. It's not
that one is.
It's not going to turn out well for him because he's a poor black kid who works in a wealthy White House. So no matter, they're going to probably they're going to accuse him of raping her first. But then he makes a poor decision to burn her body in the furnace. And then he decides there's more to this. But then he also rapes and murders his actual girlfriend later in the book it's so hard to be empathetic for this character. I don't Anyway. And then he gets a lawyer, a white Jewish lawyer who argues
the boyfriend. It's Mary's boyfriend. Who secures him the lawyer.
Who maybe that was white guilt. I don't know. You can frame it any way you want. I appreciate that when people read or hear things that they, some things are left to your interpretation. But white Jewish lawyer comes in and argues not that he didn't do it, but that he was supposed to do it. He had he was going to do something. It was just this. And nobody gives a shit about his girlfriend's murder or rape. They only care about the white lady.
So it seems that if he's accused of raping her before he murdered her, Mary, the white girl, that's worse than him
actually raping and murdering on purpose his actual girlfriend, who is black. Yeah, it's a rough one.
It's a rough one.
I'm glad I didn't read it.
I remember it being on
across a room.
It was on one of Whitaker's reading lists, and I don't think anybody in the class chose it, not knowing.
Yeah, well, this is off topic, but I was telling Chris that we had required, and then there was a list we could choose from. I would not. I mean, if I had chosen this and not known, and then started reading,
I would have
been like,
yeah,
no, thank you.
Especially something like
Anyway, Sean,
I would say critical analysis of this book says that Wright walks the razor's edge here of not ever apologizing for Bigger's crimes, but also able to portray a systemic causation behind the crimes, which is a bit of a tight wire, high wire act, I think. But you all brought up Boris Max. Boris Max makes the case that there is no escape from this destiny for his client or any other Black American, since they are the necessary product of the society that formed them and told them since birth who exactly they were supposed to be. That's the quote from this. To Andrea, your question about, it was a while back, but did this sell well? You could say that. It sold 250,000 hardcover copies within the first 3 weeks of publication. So this was one of the earliest successful attempts to explain the racial divide in America in terms of the social conditions imposed on African Americans by the dominant white society. It also made Wright the wealthiest Black writer of this time and earned him the nickname Father of Black American Literature. So it was successful, which is surprising, but
is it? And I say this because I think, leaning towards Andrea's point a little bit, it's selling that many, now knowing like those numbers, it's selling that many copies in a short period of time sort of does lean towards the white savior aspect of this book, right? That, and again, I don't know, but if you were a white person of this time period and you're reading this and you're like, and what you took from it was, holy shit, like what I think, which was what Wright intended. This kid he was always going to end up right where he is. He'd have done something because he's a product of his environment. It could not be helped. And then the lawyer comes in at the end and then lays that out explicitly for you. You, as the white reader, perhaps, again, you can walk away from this like, he made at least the argument for why this poor kid did what he did. And I could see why both white folks would have bought this and read it and maybe came out that way, and why Black folks would have bought this and read it and been like,
yeah.
Either way, they'd have bought it. But I don't know if, I don't know. That's a hard one. It's a thinker.
I'm I was just James Baldwin's Notes of a Native Son. I need to get that and read it based off this because he
The
does.
stuff I read from it and
Yeah.
the critiques are
That's always tough. That's always
yeah.
like
As a white
white person.
Well, and I'm saying this not as like some kind of, but I mean as a white person looking at a renowned Black author, activist, reader, thinker, right, critiquing another Black artist, writer, like it's interesting. I'll say that. It's definitely, it's thought provoking.
Okay. Number 6. This name. Okay. Brideshead Revisited, The Sacred and Profane Memories of Captain Charles Ryder. This is a novel by the English writer Evelyn Waugh, first published in 1945. It follows from the 1920s to the early 40s the life and romances of Charles Ryder, especially his friendship with the Flights, a family of wealthy English Catholics who live in a palatial mansion called Brideshead Castle. Ryder's relationships with 2 of the Flights, Lord Sebastian and Lady Julia. The novel explores themes including Catholicism and nostalgia for the age of English aristocracy. Sounds great. Michelle?
I have not read this. I did not. Right. I know this because I was like, oh, this is some BBC bullshit. Right. It's got 1,000 parts and it's
11.
Yeah. But after researching it, I was like, oh, I'd have never read this anyway because it's all the things that I personally, I'm not speaking for the podcast, do not like about organized religion, particularly Catholics. And it is this. You have all these rules to follow, and yet a lot of people break all those rules their entire lives. And then on their deathbed, they say, oh, fuck, I fucked up. Sorry. And then all is well. So the tenets of living a good life, of being a good person, you can fuck all that the whole time and then still get your reward. I don't buy it. I don't like it. And so no, thank you. Pass. You can talk to Andrea about this.
My note for this is advertisement for Catholicism. This is what I was referring to.
I figured.
In my opinion, and I listen, if we even have enough people that listen or watch this to piss off, great. I don't care. I'm about to. It's called We Regret Nothing. Oh, in that rant, I forgot what I was going to say. No, there's nothing worse. There's no worse Catholic than a brand new Catholic. And Evelyn Waugh had converted, or a lapsed Catholic as the patriarch of this family, at the totally shitty person, but shows back up and is like, I got last rites and I'm going to heaven. Fuck y'all. And then this is horrible. Now the BBC version, as I recall, I found some of it interesting. My mom was watching it. I'm sure it was.
Is that the 1981?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure it was beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
Very English.
Oh, very. Yeah. Very. But very ton. But
very what?
Ton. The ton are the upper aristocracy in England.
I'm glad I didn't know that.
And some people say ton. I say ton. So just so either way.
Don't know the word. Say it however you want.
But this is boring as fuck.
Huh.
It really is. There's nothing worse to me. I think I already said there was something else, nothing worse before. Oh yeah, an apathetic character. Second after an apathetic character, a dry fuck. I mean, this book is, there's supposed to be sexual tension, and I just keep picturing Prince Charles in bed with someone. Like, it's so boring. It's so...
Oh, why did you have to do that to me? What the hell?
It's incredibly... And I do like a good saga. Don't get me wrong. But this ain't it. It's dry. It's dry and Catholic.
So the 1981 version that you referenced, I believe this is right, the one, but it was a 11-episode TV serial starring Jeremy Irons as Charles Ryder and Anthony Andrews as Lord Sebastian Flight. Then I'll skip over that one. But in 2008, BBC Audiobooks released an unabridged reading of the book by Jeremy Irons. He seemed to like this content.
He was hot in it. I mean, he made it like there was no dry there, but I mean, it was like.
But then there's an abridged audiobook version, the same 2008 BBC Audiobooks, but read by Sir John Gielgud, which is available on YouTube if you want to check that one out. But I just thought this in 2020. It was announced that the novel would be adapted again for HBO.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield is set to play Charles Ryder, while Joe Alwyn will play Sebastian Flight. What about me? You put stuff in for Michelle. I put that in for you.
Talk about a dry fuck right there.
So then,
not Andrew, everybody.
Sebastian's sister Julia would be played by Rooney Mara. Ralph Fiennes will play Lord Marchmain, while Kate Blanchett. I just want you to think. All of those people.
I
Now,
would watch it.
okay, bad news.
I take
it
it
ain't
back.
getting made.
No.
Because that was 6 years ago, and they have said this isn't going to happen. But that cast, I was going to say I might watch this. Maybe. Probably not.
I'll just throw things at Joe the whole time.
I'm only going to watch it for Joe Alwyn.
You know,
number
go to
7.
hell.
Number 7 is 1984, our second George Orwell book. So this story takes place in a fictional future. The year is believed to be 1984, but this is uncertain. Much of the world is in perpetual war. Great Britain, now known as Airstrip 1, has become a province of the totalitarian. See what I mean?
Totalitarian.
No, okay, but it's 3 words. A province of the totalitarian superstate Oceania. Sean, you dumb. Which is led by Big Brother. Dictatorial leader supported by an intense cult of personality manufactured by the party's thought police. Party engages in omnipresent government surveillance and through the Ministry of Truth, the practice of historical revisionism and constant propaganda to persecute individuality and independent thinking.
So the Trump White House.
That's Andrea.
That's my opening. That's my opening shot.
Okay.
This is the Trump White House. This is why more of you should have paid attention to fucking 1984.
People don't read.
Mr. Whitaker's class. Shout out again to Renee Dessolier for, like I said, the only 2. And I had already read this when I was younger. This was actually an assigned book from my mother the summer I was going into 7th grade. I don't know why. Again, I was an odd child. But this is the number one. If you said the word bleak story, I'd be like 1984. And then the movie, I don't know if you ever saw the movie with John Hurt.
I didn't.
R.I.P. Mr. Ollivander.
It's on our Plex. It's in our library, but I've never seen it.
It is gray and it is rough. And Whitaker showed that film.
Yeah.
And there's some rough parts in it, as is the book. It's scary. The thought police, what the party tells you, you saw with your own eyes and heard with your own ears isn't true. And I think we know that, like we see now, in the murder of Renee Good, things like this, she was ramming through and like you saw it on fucking TV. It was filmed in real time. And then there is a political party telling you that's not what happened. It's scary. And when I read this book, oh shit, I literally did read this in 1984. That must have been why she assigned it to me. But I was like, well, thank God that's never going to happen. George was a dark motherfucker, but he knew what was going on and he tried to help us.
He really did. All while dying of the consumption.
The consumption.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, he had it though.
Should have gone to
Michelle.
Colorado.
Again, this is kind of almost a 10 out of 10 for me. It's just so like, I don't know. It is penultimately bleak, but it's chilling and accurate and prophetic, and it's scary to think about, right? Like when I read it then, as a high school student, I was like, this fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But nowhere in my brain,
fiction.
Right? And I think you're supposed to think like, okay, but this is, Nazi occupation, the way the, propaganda was used, that kind of thing. So you're, right. But for us, we were separated from that, right? We're a generation apart from it. Right. So so when you thought about it, you were like, oh, this is fucking scary and terrible, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
and now we live here, right? People are disappeared, right? We live in a full surveillance state, and part of that is our fucking fault, right? No one on Earth that has one of these is not being surveilled somehow. I'm not trying to be all like conspiracy ass about it, but this is fucking scary, right? And it's wild to me to think about how accurate he was about all of this.
Did you read this, Sean? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go no.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Michelle.
Couldn't tell you. I don't know. You told me earlier I read Animal Farm. I would have told you I've never read it, so
And
I don't know.
Again, with the lexicon stuff, right? So
Yeah.
much stuff came out of this, right? That
Double
we
speak
use all the
and-
time,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
Thought police.
Yeah.
Oh.
Room 101. You had a lot of
Big Brother.
ones, right? Big Brother,
Mhm.
certainly. That's the biggest one, probably. No,
Yeah, not the
the-
CBS show.
Oh, I was thinking of the show.
No. Sean,
Oh, okay.
No,
Can
but
you do
that's
this
why
from the
it's
other
called
room?
that.
That is why it's called Big Brother,
because
though.
there's cameras fucking everywhere.
I really need you to go do this in
No.
another room.
Number 8. Well, here's the news. I'm done doing this.
You are?
Yeah, either hosting or.
Is it because the French?
Well,
Is it Antoine?
let's talk about number 8 and Sean's notes.
I've been waiting.
Also, lots of music shit on 1984. Just
The what now?
Yeah.
lots of music.
Lots of
references
music.
and-
Yeah, I imagine. Oh, number
Well,
8.
simple song.
The Little Prince. The Little Prince is a novella written and illustrated by,
By-
guess what? French writer and aviator. Let's give it a try. Sean, you can do it, buddy. Antoine de
Do.
Fuck you. Do Saint.
Song.
I hate this. I hate every second of this. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
Desjupere.
There we go. Fuck off everybody.
Antoine de
The one listener and both of you on the couch
Yes.
ingest a satchel of Richards.
Oh, no.
The story follows a young
I
prince
want to.
who visits various
No.
planets, including Earth, and addresses themes of loneliness,
Ding dong.
friendship, love, and loss. Despite its style as a children's book, The Little Prince makes observations about life, adults, and human nature. Michelle.
Le Petit Prince.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for her to say that.
I quit. When you're done with this, y'all just
All right.
hit stop on this button here.
I did-
Right there.
Yeah, just hit stop.
I did not read this. I don't even think this was on my radar until well into adulthood. But I do like that that this person, the narrator, right, as an adult, had a litmus test for whimsy. Right?
Mhm.
He took his little
I
picture.
do like that.
Right? He took his little picture that he had drawn of a boa constrictor eating an elephant. And when adults saw it, they were like, that's a hat. And he was like, no, it's not, though.
Mhm.
And then he would show it to other adults later. And if they would get it, that would be kind of his, like, do you have childlike qualities?
Yeah.
And no one got it until he wrecks his plane in the Sahara and meets the little prince, who
Le
then
Petit
says,
Prince.
oh, that's clearly
Mhm.
an elephant inside of a boa constrictor. I think that this is just kind of like a fable, a parable for the way the world is, but the way the world could be if you had some whimsy.
Oh, I love that.
Again, I didn't read it, but
I never.
it does seem like a long journey to get there.
Yes.
but yes, that's how I would think.
I
about
love
it.
that. That's beautiful.
And Andrew, you said you don't have anything?
I don't really have anything.
Okay.
Did you read this?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I didn't even. I had no
Oh.
real, recollection of this.
We had it, and I remember opening it and being like, "Oh no, this isn't what I thought it was going to be," and then just put it back, and then probably went and read Stephen King. So
Okay. So, like I said, this guy.
LA. Just call him LA.
Shh. Call him what?
LA.
What does that mean? What's LA?
Hey.
You can say Antoine.
I'm afraid I'm going to say that wrong. No,
well,
but
if you say Antony, then
Antonio here. No, I don't want to be disrespectful to him because
that
he was
very-
he was an aviator, a French aviator who flew. I mean, World War II, even before. Like he was a French. I'm not saying hero, but I mean he served the French military.
I think it's France. France, right?
French
And,
fries, French dressing.
And Peru.
So, he after he leaves the service, he starts his writing career, and he continued to write up until the spring of '43 when he left the U.S. with American troops bound for North Africa in the Second World War. You heard that right. And so, so following the German invasion of France in 1940, he flew a Block MB-174. I mean, there's probably too much history for me to go to. We've already gone a little bit long, but he had a very distinguished military career as a pilot, and then the Little Prince comes out, and it's banned in France.
What?
That's released in the U.S. in '43.
Oh, it's banned because it's Nazi-occupied France?
Yes.
And
And
Brad Pitt over there.
That's a bingo.
Later, posthumously, came out in France after the liberation of France.
Did he die in the war?
You
better not say he was shot down. I will throw something at you.
I'll just say this. July 31st, 1944, he took off in an unarmed P-38 on his 9th recon mission, and to the great alarm of his squadron and compatriots, he did not return, vanishing without a trace. Word of his disappearance soon spread across the literary world, and then it spread into international headlines. In September of 1998, a fisherman found a silver identity bracelet bearing the name of
Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
And the bracelet was hooked to a piece of fabric, which they've determined was from his flight suit.
I've never heard this.
Announcement of the discovery was an emotional event in France, where he was a national icon still, even though some have disputed its authenticity because it was found far from his intended flight path, implying that the aircraft might not have been shot down. But they believe that he was shot down and disappeared. They've never found the wreckage. They've only found that bracelet and the piece of fabric.
Isn't it funny? Okay, and I use funny in the like non-funny sense of it. Yeah. But that all the things we can do in this world and we still can't find things like that, like, you know, Amelia Earhart or
the vastness of the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. That's what. Don't even get me started on the ocean. That that freaks me out.
But he disappeared,
It is one of my room.
He disappeared and most likely passed at age 44.
Jesus.
Yeah. So anyway, I found him, even though I can't say his name, and I apologize, but I found him to be a fascinating story. He's really interesting. He did a lot.
Just call him the Saint, honey.
Because
by the way, your guy, the Saint, in the movie The Saint, uses that name.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Val could pronounce it.
Damn it. Okay. Number 9, Cry, the Beloved Country. This is a seminal 1948 novel by Alan Paton that serves as a powerful critique of racial injustice in South Africa, set just before the formal establishment of apartheid. Follows Stephen Kumalo, a Zulu pastor, as he travels from his rural village to Johannesburg to find his son, Absalom, only to discover his son is accused of murder, a crime that tragically connects him to a white family, leading to a profound exploration of suffering, forgiveness, and reconciliation between two fathers. And that is Andrea.
I have not read this. I knew of it, but I never read it, but I did see both versions. Like I said, the one that always sticks with me more is the Sir Richard Harris, James Earl Jones one.
1995.
Yeah. And it's such a good story. I am going to go back and read the book, but just with apartheid and how, apartheid was a horrible fucking thing. I'm laughing because I'm like, I still can't believe that was a fucking thing, which people are trying to bring back. just the tale of South Africa and the two fathers, and there's a lot of biblical allegory. I feel I can't fully comment on the book because I do just know the movie version, which obviously, things get changed, but I am going to go back and read this.
Michelle?
I did read this. This was another Doug Whitaker, but this was on the choose it list, and I chose it. I don't know why. I think, well, first of all, this is not a particularly long book, so that's probably why. I probably was like,
you did the Brian Wells school of
10? Yeah, fuck yeah. Let's do this one. But I quite enjoyed this book. And here's and I know, like you mentioned, there is a lot of religious allegory in this. That one of the main characters is a
that's
religious
David's
figure.
son. Yeah.
It is. It's simply told as the tale, really, of just grief and regret, and these two fathers who bond, who ultimately both end up with dead sons.
Yeah.
Right. And how. And there, I mean, you could argue there's a little white saviorism in this one too, but given that the setting is just pre-apartheid, it doesn't feel that way. It does feel like actual South Africans,
yes,
fighting for other South Africans.
Yes.
It does not feel, anyway, I quite enjoyed this book.
Definitely.
It really, it's really kind of touching the relationship that becomes between Stephen and James. It's very, I don't know. I quite enjoyed it.
I'm looking forward to reading it. Just going back, I was like, I don't know why I have it.
And then also another title from another, Cry the Beloved Country, for the unborn child that is the inheritor of our fear. I mean, come on. That's kind of universal, right? It was good. I think you will quite enjoy it.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I mean, we didn't really talk about what the book about is necessarily, right?
I mean, go ahead.
Well,
initially Stephen is going to Johannesburg to find his sister, who his son, Absalom, has also gone to look for previously, but he did not come back. So another...
to go find Gertrude, right?
Yes. Another priest asks Stephen to go to find her, and then when he does find her, she's not living her best life, maybe.
I'm sorry. My favorite thing, though, she's fallen into prostitution and beer brewing.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
Girl was an entrepreneur.
It's like the horrors of beer.
That's when when she agrees to come back with her own son to the village. That's when Stephen says, okay, I'm going to go look for Absalom now. And then when he finds him, that's when you discover that Absalom has killed James Jarvis's son. And then when that trial comes, they meet, and it's and then the rest of the book unfolds, right? So anyway, it's good.
Okay.
I liked it.
Okay.
Number 10. The Fountainhead.
The Fountainhead.
1943 novel by
Ayn
Rand that follows the life of an individualistic architect, Howard Rourke, who battles against conventional standards and the establishment to maintain his artistic integrity. Michelle.
I did not read this one. I read Anthem instead. And the reason I read Anthem is because of Rush. So again, I read a book based on something musical. And I think, is it Ein? Is it actually
It's Ein?
That's why I paused.
Yeah, it's actually Ein,
sorry,
but
I think
whatever.
Ein?
It is, and
she's Russian.
She is.
Yes.
And her name is...
Yeah.
I knew that it was an Anne when I was looking at it, but I didn't know how to pronounce it, so I just...
I did not read anything else by her except Anthem. I get the main theme is basically that individualism is better than conformity. I think you could make a very valid argument for that kind of thinking, but she
Takes it a bridge too far.
she does take it a bridge too far, and she's not a likable person.
And she is beloved
And
by
also
the
beyond that, let's separate
yep,
the art from the artist.
Fine.
This is not the characters in this book, not a single one of them. I go back to my very, like, somebody's got to be likable. Like, I need to like somebody in the book, and there's not a likable character.
I don't know.
in this book.
I feel like that's why they cast Gary Cooper in the movie, because everybody's like, everybody loves Gary
No,
Cooper.
well, I
And-
don't think you're wrong about
Yeah.
that. I mean, there's not a likable person in this goddamn book, and least of all Dominique, the love interest of
Mhm.
so many people in this book.
Mhm.
And I'm not shaming her for being a love interest.
good
It's
on your body
it's just
count,
she's
girl.
a piece of shit.
Yeah.
She's a piece of shit. The newspaper publisher guy pays a guy to divorce her so that he can then marry. They're just
gross.
garbage people.
Gross.
Just garbage people in this book. Not a likable person in the whole thing.
Do you want to hear my notes?
Yeah.
They're very.
I bet it's real succinct.
That was the word I was going to say. This period, bitch, period. Also, this book bores me. It's boring as fuck. Because you don't like anybody and everybody's just
Also,
gross.
architecture's not that exciting.
No, and then I remember there's this guy that we knew that was trying to be an architect, and he was like, this is the Bible for architects. I was like, no, it's not. It's a bullshit garbage novel.
It's a
Dum-dum.
Bible for narcissism, and he did so well.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
I mean, it is I wouldn't say philosophical text, but it's about objectivism, which she,
Yeah.
is trying to, in this story, get out the tenets.
I don't
of
think it's,
objectivism.
I just don't think it's well written. I'm not saying, like, I don't like her personally, but there's something about her that is very biting into tinfoil, and I don't, it doesn't,
Oh.
this doesn't please me.
It's
doesn't-
funny to me that, and I'm not saying this because we are clearly more liberal leaning folk,
What?
but it is it is curious to me that so many conservatives and right leaning people, even then, and whatever
And
version of that is
especially
now,
Mm-hmm.
look at her when. I think if you looked at objectivism as a whole, they really are saying that individuality, creativity, innovation is better than conformity. Yet all of the tenets of, well, not all, but many of the tenets of being a conservative are, it's individual when it comes to the self, but not to the
The
greater.
whole. Yep.
Correct. So it's odd to me, or at least curious, that they look to her as some kind of,
Yeah.
inspiration figurehead kind of from literature, when I think she really meant not that.
And she was just bad.
She's not good.
I'd say bad. I mean, she wasn't, good, bad. It's
Not a fan.
pizza. But yeah, it's just not well written. And I know that there are millions that would disagree with me. If you notice, she was not on Doug Whitaker's reading list.
Mm.
I do not think Doug Whitaker liked her. And he was like, I'm not going to expose.
This is my class.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know there were authors on that list he did not
These are my
like.
tickets, and I can do what the fuck I want.
Yeah. And it was, yeah, but I mean, it perseveres. It's just, whew, yeah.
Okay. Wow. That is all 10. It's our first 10 books.
I read 6 out of 10 of those.
Not bad. Not bad. I've
About to be 7.
read
3, maybe 4.
in my brain 0. Michelle's in the middle with 4. But hey, again, great research, great information that you all provided. So thank you for that. Anybody who's still with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow the show wherever you're taking this in. Hit us up on our socials. I'm still looking for anybody to just, tell me to learn how to speak French. I don't know. Tell these two they're crazy. Something. Stop butchering names, Sean. I'll take anything at this point. But just remember, we regret nothing.